All right, welcome back to UKSG Green 2023. This event, we are raising money for our crisis, and you can donate with the links below the stream. We would, of course, like to shout out ESA and BSG for their continued support. Now, before we get underway with RuffledBricks here running some Worms 2, we have had a flood of donations come in, my good man.
Hell yeah.
And they are very important to the run here. So we're going to start off. We have $65 from HUDS601. The first part of the product's name comes from the Latin bovinus, meaning ox. It takes the vril suffix from Edward Bulwer Lytton's novel The Coming Race, 1871, the plot of which revolves around a superior race of people, the Vrilya, who derive their powers from an electromagnetic substance named vril. Therefore, bovril indicates great strength, obtained from a poop, hee hee.
That's what I like about HUDs. He's always straight to the point.
Exactly. Does put that, of course, to the Worms 2 team name, Club 601. And that is going to be the winner on that bid that we're going to close. We also have a number of donations coming in here as well. But one important one is Sophie Fritz, $10, just simply saying Yorkshire. And putting that right to the, of course, the Yorkshire Tykes part. Listen, you like my Yorkshire. Listen, Plusnet is the only way I know Yorkshire. But that does have us a little bit of a problem here, buddy. We have $40 for both Scouser and Yorkshire Tykes. So I guess because we're going to close these bid wars now, you get to make the choice.
All right.
Between the two, what will you do?
Wait. All right. Hands up if you want Yorkshire. Hands up if you want Scouse. Okay, that would be Scouse. I actually wasn't listening for the hands. It was the boo that sold me on it.
Yeah, I bet. All right, we're going to close then. Everybody, thank you for your donations on that. So the team name is going to be Club 601, and we're going to have the voices there, thanks to the boos. Now, if that doesn't tell you how Ruffled's run is going to go here, by the way, nothing will. So without further ado, mate, take it away.
All right, gang. I am soon-to-be bald Worms boomer, RuffledBricks, and joined here by the wonderful Angel Interceptor.
Hi. Thanks for inviting somebody with no knowledge of this game on to co-commentate. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining. So we're going to do all missions in Worms 2. A lot of people didn't know the missions existed. If you just select one team, then that takes you to the missions. Two little things that I need to do before we start the runoff here. The first thing I'm doing is I'm moving the front end up to about here. This is because every time we quit out of a mission, don't start the timer yet, every time we quit out of a mission, then that actually causes the cursor to respawn in the middle of the screen. Second thing I'm going to do here is we're going to try and do something called front-end manip. Basically, like, and this is reacting very differently to how I'm normally used to, so we'll see if it works or not. But basically, we don't want the front end to actually minimize after each mission, so by playing around with the window like I just did, hopefully that should stop that from happening. So, without further ado, shall we start the run in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Okay, so this is Worms 2. The idea of this game is for our team, that's the one with the red names, to kill off the enemy worms. Those are the ones with the blue names. This first mission, the weapons scheme, we like to call B&G, bazooka and grenades, because that's pretty much most of what you get. Switching to Worm 4, going to bounce a 4-second grenade up to Gibbering Fool here. As that happens, during the 5 seconds of retreat time, I'm going to jump across to here. The grenade blows that mine onto Solomon and Worm 4, causing a little crater there, which now should manipulate Solomon into firing a bazooka at Worm 4. This will kill Worm 4, but what it should also do is it will ensure that Worm 4 basically dies on land. And when worms die on land, they self-destruct. This is going to cause a little hole down to the water. And using this hole here, I am going to now go with worm 5. We're going to aim a 4-second grenade about here. That's going to go over to hit Bacon over here. And as it does, we're jump knocking Goober and Solomon into the hole, like so, to knock them into the water. And that is all of the worms on the first battle killed. Now just... Okay, excellent. So that's fine. Yeah, you're not going to hear much celebrating because we're doing something called cheer skip. Basically, if you use Alt F4 whilst the worms are celebrating, you can skip to the menu quicker. Shooting my worm into Bacon there and jumping into Goober to knock them into the water. You notice we get a lot of mileage out of the retreat time on these missions, particularly from jump knocking, which we do quite a bit at the start of the run. This just enables us to maximize the number of kills that we get on each turn. And these missions here with the girders in, we call these the gun girder missions. There's 7 of them in the game in total. You only get guns as your weapons in these ones, so shotgun, handgun, Uzi. And these are particularly annoying and repetitive, some of these missions. Here, just doing a jump knock to get Gibbering Fall into the water. Yeah. Any questions so far, Andrew?
Yeah, everything, because...
Well, I don't have time to answer them now because this is a very difficult mission. So this is a shopper mission. We have no weapons, so we're supposed to farm crates in order to be able to get weapons to kill the enemy worms off. What I'm doing here, I'm force dropping this second crate here by holding space. Jump in here, and I'm going to do a dud manip. There we go. Basically, like all the levels with mines on them, one of the mines is a dud. If you can find the dud, that will stop you from... That will make every mine on the map, other than that one, live. Now, we're using a ninja rope to traverse the terrain here. I'm going to grab this crate here, setting the parachute, because we need to do a rope knock on Wiener here. And there we are, using the parachute there to preserve the turn. And that knocks those 2 worms into the water at the same time. Now going to rope back over to the left. Running out of time here, need you to get over there. Worm 1, here we go. Now, using the shotgun I got in the crate here, I'm going to nudge up here, fire this mine onto Chegwin, which, because we manipulated that first mine into being a dud, means that mine is definitely live, so we can knock Chegwin in. And now, back jump, 1, 2, 3, and jump onto this mine, and that knocks my worm into Newton, knocking them into the water. Okay, now I've got time to answer some questions.
Okay, so the first question I have for everybody probably is why did you start doing this in the first place? Because this is just too much.
You know, you've not met me before, have you? I like runs that are incredibly life-ruining. Here we're going to use a kamikaze. Now, something to note about the kamikazes in this game is they are very OP. You notice we actually one-shotted Bacon there. They're only OP in Worms 2 missions. If you actually do the multiplayer, they're normally powered, but you're going to see the Kami a lot throughout this run because they give you a very generous supply of them in several of the missions. Now, we were going for a dud manip on the first turn with that mine. We didn't quite get it, so there is a chance that we might end up failing the second turn here. Let's see how we go. So just knocking Solomon into place here. We've got 3 ninja ropes to use here, so I need to use them fairly sparingly. And then kamikazeing this way to deflect them down onto the mine, which fortunately is live, so both of them have gone into the water. That one can be a dud, and that can be kind of annoying to deal with if it is, but got away with it. Now, should talk about the dud manips, by the way. So a lot of the RNG in this game is what you would call deterministic. So by doing certain actions at certain times, you can manipulate the RNG into going a certain way. The dud manips are a key example of this. We're actually going to do the easiest dud manip in the game now. We're going to switch to Worm 2, walk straight onto this mine, and off it goes as a dud. So now all of the other mines in this are live, which means we can drop a dynamite on here, set this mine off here, which sends that mine onto Bacon, And while that's happening, the dynamite knocks that worm into the water like so.
So what are you saying about the manipulation?
Yeah.
Does that mean that the crates can be manipulated?
Yes. So on the shopper missions, some of them will be trying to do with rope knocks like we did with the first one that you saw. Some of the other ones, though, we can't do that. So we're going to be timing things specifically to manipulate certain crates into spawning with certain weapons in them. So you'll see that a bit later. Now here, we're going to use everyone's favourite sing-along weapon, the Holy Hand Grenade. So sing along if you know the word. And we did a little rope knock there as well. Once again, just maximising the amount of damage that we get on that one. Oh. Now, tough. This is some tough RNG here. Going for a manip with the Uzi. And we got it. Okay, so basically, those Uzi spreads of the bullets there, those are manipulated by doing certain things at certain times. And so in order to get that, we had to use a very specific timing. So what I did, you notice like when each mission starts, I have the full background on. So all of the stars and the clouds and that are in the background. Usually I turn that off because it's a bit distracting, but on that one, there's a specific star that I watch that goes behind Alaska at, say, a certain time. Yeah, this is a genuine natural phenomenon. And use the timing of that to judge when to do that Uzi. So you get both of them in at the bottom. And now we're going to use a shotgun here. First one, just to knock Gibbering Fool a little further to the left. And now we're going for second one there. Should be enough momentum to get them both in. Yes, good.
I'm desperately trying to work out who has the most authentic Scouse accent in the game, or what I can hear behind me.
We'll have a Scouse off at the end of the run. So this is the first of 3 maps in the game that we call the sausage map. Just cause. They're all shopper missions, and this is one where we're manipulating the crates, as Angel mentioned earlier. So teleporting straight onto this crate here with Worm 1. That gives us a dynamite, so we always get a dynamite crate. But we're actually trying to manipulate a crate to fall onto the middle sausage, which will contain an airstrike. Stop sniggering at the front.
I didn't expect to come into middle sausage as all.
I'm terribly sorry. Right, so now switching to Worm 1, and we're going to use a dynamite here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess 8 pixels, hopefully. So that blows Goober onto Solomon, and then Worm 1 knocks Sticks into the water, like so. So nice little triple kill that we get there. Pretty much pixel perfect, that one. You have to watch the amount of pixel and sub-pixel nudges you're doing with your worm there to get them in position. And now Gibbering Fool here, because again, this is a shopper mission, so no one's got any weapons. They're just going to skip go. So, okay, my airstrike crate didn't spawn, so I'm going to have to find another way to kill them off. Right, so we've got a Dragon Ball. Let's see, what can we do here? 5 prods. Okay, let's have a think here. Right, so if we get the parachute, so we're going to rope knock Bacon, like that, and then we're going to do the finger poke of doom on Gibbering Fool here. So, prods in shopper missions are extremely OP.
Just like real life.
Yes, exactly, like Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash, or whoever it was. So, yeah, had to YOLO that one a little bit, but I think it was a good YOLO. This one here, we're going to try and do this mission entirely with kamikazes and one choice AI manipulation. So, first thing we did, that crate that spawned at the beginning, we basically insta-dropped that so that it fell straight away. That manipulated this grenade shot that we got here. Now, at 56 seconds, I'm jumping and then doing a cami to knock Goober into the water. If we timed this correctly, This should ensure that Solomon... Okay, so the wind, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, the wind is at half an arrow to the right. This is what we want, because this manipulates this bazooka shot here on worm 3. Now, when this has happened, I'm going to turn worm 3 to the right. Please make notes, everyone. There is a test at the end. And I'm going to jump up at 57, and then kamikaze straight down on bacon. Now, if we've got this right... This should manipulate Gibbering Fool into killing himself off for us. He is going to try and attack Worm 5, and he's going to use a dynamite. However, he hasn't thought through how to escape from the dynamite, so therefore he gets knocked into the water himself. And here we're about to break the cameraman. Yeah, no idea where to look. You can't deactivate auto camera in this game, which is a little irritating, but it's fine. We can cope. Mission 9 here on the hell terrain, or the lasagna terrain, as my community likes to call it.
Oh, it really is.
Isn't it delicious?
Oh.
Stop
destroying it.
I'd be happy to be bad in my life if this is where I was going. Right, so we're going to switch to Worm 8. Quick cami on that. Now, this is a cavern mission. The camera cannot go outside of the bounds here, so I actually knocked sticks out of bounds there, you notice. So that's 3 of them out of weight. Now, one of these 2 should fire a bazooka at worm 7, creating this little pit here. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. What we're going to do now is switch to worm 7. Going to fire a ninja rope here, drop a grenade in my place, and then just going to rope knock the 2 into the hole that I've just created there. Are you impressed, Angel?
I'm kind of impressed, but I do feel you're showing off a little bit here just because you've got friends in the room.
Oh, don't worry. This run will go to pot in about half an hour. Right, so this mission is the first of 3 artillery missions in the game, which means that none of the worms can actually walk or jump. They can only be moved by being shot out of position like so. What we're going to do at the start, switch into worm 7, then we're going to change to worm 8 at 54 seconds. This is going to now mean that I'm going to fire a bazooka round about 50 seconds there. It was 51 there, but it's a low 51, so we should still be fine. If we've got this manipulation right, then we have a 1.5 arrow wind to the right, which means Chegwin should knock himself and Wiener down to that oil drum there with a bazooka. And there we go. So as you can see, they're all now next to these oil drums with no means of escaping them. And we're going to use a cluster bomb here to blow these up, and hopefully we're going to get a full house. So let's see what happens. We want all 4 of them to be dead because it's pretty difficult to clear this up if they're not. But, yep, full house. There we go. So quite a few grave animations to get through here. So, Arg, if you've got anything you'd like to say, this would be a good time to say it.
Oh, we really do. We got a $20 donation from Buglore that says less than 50 to go. Let's make this happen, chat. And then we had a $10 donation from Broken Hyperlink that says, let's give Nico a friend. and then a $15 donation from Solastical Gik with no comment on that one. And then a $25 donation from Major Disaster that says, this is one hell of a way to get yourself a haircut. Nice to see such a chilled, stress-free run like Worms 2 in UKSG. Good luck. And anyone that's good at math there can tell you that was $50. Ruffled, you're getting your haircut, buddy.
Can you all be quiet, please? I have to concentrate on this mission. Okay, so dud manip there, and then just nudge up here, and I'm going to jump back twice, and then I'm going to fire a bazooka at 38 seconds to knock those 2 into the water like so. By the way, I like the fact that Linky thinks that like people make friends based on having identical haircuts. That's how we met, isn't it, Angel?
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
So this one here, we're trying to... this is a lot of AI manipulation, this one, because this is a hard mission to do if you don't get this. So doing things at certain times here. We've got our dud manip in. Now we want this shot on Worm 8 to basically pit them so that they kind of land in the crater that they're in. It did not work, so we're going to have to improvise a little bit on this mission. So I was clearly slightly off time there, I think, but that's okay. So tap bazooka there to get those two into the water. So had we got the manipulation right on this one, we would have been able to get a double on this turn coming up. But Raptor is out of position now, so we're going to have to just do some YOLOing. Should be okay. I'm going to start with Scrut though, because Scrut can get in a very annoying position. So just shoot him in, and then Raptor hopefully isn't going to move anywhere too egregious.
How easy is it to improvise on this?
It depends on the mission. At this stage, improvisation is fairly easy. Towards the middle of the game, there are some really tough missions where you kind of want it to go right the whole way through. Otherwise, it's just a huge waste of time.
I've seen how much you rage quit, so yeah, I know that.
Yes. Yeah. Although I won't be rage quitting from my haircut later on, gang. I'm a trooper. I have no choice. Gun Girders 2 here. This is probably the second easiest Gun Girders mission in the game. You don't really need any specific angles or manips in this one, apart from one, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Something to note, by the way, you'll notice the enemy team gets quite a lot of first turns in these missions. In actual fact, the enemy team goes first on 80% of the missions in this game. So a lot of the runtime of this mission, of this speed run, is just waiting for the enemy worms to have their first turn. And we're currently in a run of missions where, like, 19 missions in a row where the enemy get first turn. So, doesn't seem fair, does it? Right, no, so we're going to shoot Chegwin into Wiener there. And I'm going to jump down here to knock Pidge into the water, like so. So we got a triple kill there, and it's very important that Worm 2 survives that. Because Worm 7 is in a perfect position on the next turn to get a double kill here. But if we did not have Worm 2 there as bait, then I know, imagine using a worm as bait. Then Worm 7 would be a prime target for this worm here. So, whose name I've forgotten. Checks notes. Bumper. Thank you, Bumper. So now just going to get me Uzi on. Fire Bumper into the water, and then jump knock Newton in. Like so. The further down the line we go on these Gun Girders missions, the fewer jump knock opportunities we're going to get. Now, this is a tough one. This is another shopper mission. We're going to do the bulk of this with rope knocks, but we have very few ropes to do this with. We're also going to try and go for a dud manip on the first turn, and the timing on it is quite specific. So, here we go. Okay, we got it. So that's good. Now to start trying to knock these worms. So that's fine. Grow up, Tim. So not like that. Okay, so last rope that I can use. And you notice when I fall down like that with the parachute, I can actually still use the rope to reattach. So now we're going to go over here. This is our last ninja rope, so I cannot make any mistakes with this. Going to just sit next to Marlon. Replay there. We're skipping through all the replays because they just take up time. And then dropping a dynamite next to Marlon, and that will blow Marlon into the water. Was knocking that mine onto Scrut so that them and Mechanic go into the water. So again, that's another shopper mission where we managed to do that all in one turn. Worm 6 landed on land there, so we get a land death, which isn't optimal. Generally with this game, you want, if you can, you want the worms to die in water rather than on land because it's quicker. Now, here comes the first instance of the booby trap crates. in this game, which, well, a mechanic that was wisely removed from all subsequent Worms games because they're RNG. Oh. Go on, Angel.
So that isn't always a booby trap crate, that first one.
So what I did was, well, first of all, watch the dynamite cannon. That's fun. Secondly, you notice when the crate was dropping, it swang back and forth once, and I drop it when it swings back that way, because that guarantees that the crate is a booby trap. If you force drop it immediately, it's not a booby trap. So we do that to get Stavros in that specific position for that kill. But that's pretty much the only real sort of time-based AI manip we can do in this one, because this Gambit can do a number of things here. Here we're going to use a trick called the cluster trick to kill him off. Now, you remember we used a cluster bomb earlier, and the way that the cluster bombs work is they shoot out a bunch of clusters into the air when they explode. However, if you stand on the side of a worm and drop the cluster bomb under that worm's bottom, then your worm absorbs all of the explosions from the cluster bomb, which creates this very powerful condensed explosion that can one-shot enemy worms.
Again, just like real life.
Yes.
This is just based in reality, this entire game. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's how I used to use cluster bombs in the playground.
That's a euphemism.
No, it isn't. Now, have you been to Aldershot? Right, so here we're going to now do a rope knock on Zorky. To get them in. As you can see, that plant stops me from going in, and now we're going to get a brief glimpse of the super sheep here on this one. I'm going to go off the rope because I'm a little unconfident. Just use that to blow Plopper into the water. There we go, yeah. It always looks like Plopper's not going to make it in, but there's just enough momentum to get them. I don't like enthusiasm. Now, this mission here, I'm keeping the background on again because the first turn I'm going to do a cami on Kingston and Marlon here, and I'm going to use a leaf in the background to judge when I do the cami. So watch the catapult and watch when a leaf goes behind there, and you'll see that's my cue. Okay, so if we time that correctly, what should happen here is we should manipulate Raptor into killing himself off. The wind looks good. We've got 4 arrows to the right there, so let's see what Raptor does. Raptor's got a very good target in the form of my 2 worms here. And there we go. That was such a good shot, he got a replay. Right, now I'm going to go and rope knock Sheep Nut.
How have you just made me want a TV show, sitcom called My 2 Worms? That's brilliant.
To be fair, so do I, but, you know, I'm living my dreams through you, Angel. Okay, being a little careful about the... yeah. And it's karaoke time again, gang. Oh, not a great position on that, but we'll see. Oh, and there's a dud. Fortunately, though, the HXG got them in, so we're good. Bomber. Right. So, okay, this is Gun Girders 3. This is where the Gun Girders missions start getting difficult. This one, we've got to do some very specific shots here. Also notable is the enemy's first turn here. They actually kill off 2 of our worms before we even get a chance to use them. So Worm 1 and Worm 2 are useless on this one. And this happens every time you try the mission. It's not like an RNG you can manipulate. You just have to watch this go ahead. So what we're going to do, I'm keeping the background on to use the crane for a visual cue for Worm 6. Oh dear. Well, okay, let's try that again. So basically what happened there was... something to note about the shotguns in the gunner missions is Team 17 thought it'd be a great idea to give them a spread. An RNG manipulated spread. So they don't actually shoot guaranteed in a straight line on this. Like the angle of it can go slightly within a certain radius. Because of that, we're trying to do our shots at specific times in order to manipulate the RNG into giving us the angle that we want, and we'll be doing that on several of these gun girders missions. However, because I missed my worm when changing worms earlier, then I went past the time threshold. And now using the crane here to line that shot up.
Seems an awful level to mess up on them.
Oh, this isn't. Well, I mean, they get worse, but like this is definitely a tricky one. Now we're wanting a strat that I like to call the Grace Jones, because basically you'll see Bumper down there. Vincent is about to shoot Worm 5. Then after that, he's going to shoot Worm 7. What we want Vincent to do now with Worm 7 is pull up to the bumper, baby, and drive him in the sea. So let's... And we got it! We got the Gracie!
I didn't sign up for singing.
Me neither. So... Okay, I missed Chegwin twice there. That's impressive. Although I did get the angle completely wrong, so I probably deserve that.
Because you sang.
Do you reckon? All right, no more singing. That's all right. That's fine. I can do this. I'll do a Rex Harrison. I'll just talk rhythmically. Right. So this is YOLO territory again here because we've got 2 enemy worms who are still alive here, which isn't good. Okay. Right. Looking a bit weird. So what I'm going to do here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teleport Worm 3 to this girder here. Reason I'm going to do that is because on these gun girders missions, the enemy is only able to aim below a certain threshold on these girders. Because we're below the threshold that they can aim at, then they're just going to skip goes, which means that we are now completely safe and do not have to worry about that unless they teleport, but there's a fairly low chance of them teleporting. Missed that shot as well. That's all right. Chegwin should still just loaf around here. I know, it's hilarious, isn't it? Okay, there we go.
There we go.
So yeah, that's a rough one. But there's many more rough ones to come, gang, so look forward to that. I have to say, this, out of all the runs that I have done to date, which isn't a huge amount, but this is easily the most tech-heavy speed run out of any I've done. There's so much tech to learn on each mission. We would like more runners for the game, but it's not going to happen. So, here what I'm going to do is going to teleport here onto this crate of 46 seconds. Now, this is another shopper mission. And what we're trying to do here, because we can't rope knock these, we're going to try and rope knock manipulate mechanic into teleporting next to Worm 1. So there we go. Now we're going to generate, we've got 2 crates, we've got all the crates we need here. So one of them contains a kamikaze, and the other one contains cluster bombs. That's all we need to kill these worms off. So kamikaze on those worms there. So 2 of them go into the water, and mechanic, as you see, actually goes all the way down into the middle of the O in Prose. Microprose, the original publishers of Worms, by the way. Just saying that so that Charles doesn't moan at me for not getting his trivia in again. And here I'm going to just throw a cluster bomb down here. You'll notice that Marlon just stood on Mechanic's head there and didn't teleport, which is great. And that should be enough damage to kill off Mechanic, which will mean that the grave damage will get Marlon into the water. So, and yeah, that's another one where we just manipulate the crates into getting specific weapons there so that we can get them. Right, here I'm going to force drop this crate now. When it is between the 2 sausages. That is because... Don't. That is because... that manipulates Gambit into not teleporting. Because we want him to stay there for the move that we're about to do. So, we got fire punches. That's the only weapon we need for this shopper mission. Oh, God, that was close. Let's get the parachute on for this rope knock. So in goes Stavros. And then just going to rope across to Gambit. I'm going to rope knock Gambit just slightly to the left here. Not, well, a bit more than that we need. Rope into a specific position. Oh dear. Okay, go on. Go on. We got this. Oh dear. He's out of position, but I'm going to have to go for it anyway. Yeah, so didn't quite get it there, unfortunately. What we're trying to do is line up Gambit so that you can get a triple fire punch there to kill them all off. Unfortunately, I kind of ran out of time in the knocking there. Now Zorky's teleporting. I can't remember if I've got any ropes left, actually. If we haven't, we might be in trouble. We got one. Okay, cool. That should be fine. And Zorky's actually in a decent position here, so once again we're in YOLO territory here, but looks like he might still be alive. Oh no, we got a replay, we're fine. Okay, good. Now, next up is I think one of the worst missions in the game. Cool. For starters, you notice that Team 17 didn't really know what to put on this map. Now, this is a gunner mission, but not gun girders, and the terrain is really awkward. And we can't change worms on this mission. We have to go through them sequentially. So we're going to start with Worm 2, given that Worm 1 just got killed. We're going to aim a Uzi at Marlon. At 55 seconds is when I need this. Oh, it's 35, sorry. So that gives the spread that we need. Just above, but that's still fine. Now, we did that there because we wanted to manipulate Mechanic here into firing at Worm 6 and Worm 3 and killing them both off. We need Worm 3 dead because Worm 4 is in an ideal position for killing off these 3 worms at the bottom right here. If Worm 3 survived, then he'd have to take the turn, and then Worm 4 would get killed. So because Worm 3 got killed, it's Worm 4's turn. And now doing these shots at specific times to try and manipulate the spread, because if we don't get these, this is pretty bad. Okay, cool. Right, so we got all 3 of them in, which is good omen. Now, Sheepnut here. We want Sheepnut to be a bro. We want Sheepnut to kill Worm 5 on his first shot here. And he did. Excellent. This means that Sheepnut will now drop down, stand next to Worm 8, and fire a shot into this question mark here. And that's good. That means he's in a good position for us to deal with him. Any questions, Angel?
Yeah, if you if somebody were to want to start to learn this, is each level individually playable? Or
yes.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah, so each level has a password.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's back in the days when you could use passwords to get to levels.
I remember those days.
Yeah, they were good. And we'll talk a little bit about the passwords later on, actually, because this game doesn't really have titles for the missions, but we started using the passwords as the titles. And if you put all the passwords together, you actually get the lore for Worms 2. You get the whole story, the plot line for this. And as a special treat for all you viewers, I am going to recite the lore from memory a little bit later on in the run. So look forward to that. Get your popcorn ready. Got a while until that, though. This has gone well, by the way, just FYI. Because the Sheepnut shot went right, all the remaining shots have gone right. And as you can see, Worm 4 just standing there, ensuring that we win. Basically, as long as you've got one worm surviving on each at the end of each mission, then you're fine. Now, this is not a gun girders mission. It's actually a shopper mission, but even though it's just on girders. And it's probably the easiest shopper mission in the game. What we're going to do is we're going to knock Plopper into the water, like that. And then the one crate that we need is going to spawn. It's not that one. It will be after the next turn. And then that will be all we need to kill off the remaining enemy worms. And there it is. So we're going to grab that. And that crate contains a kamikaze. And what we're going to do is just going to stand on Stavros's head, aim this way, and because they're all in a straight line, kill them all off in one go. Something to note about the kamikazes is that the way that they work is that like they will keep going for a certain distance. After that distance, they will detect if there is land around them. If there is land, they will explode. But if there is no land, they will keep going until they hit land. So that's why you can have camis that go all the way across the map. But
Is that different to the original game, then?
no.
Okay.
So, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know how camis worked in Worms 1, but I know they had them in Worms 1. Here's a particularly infuriating enemy first turn, by the way, where they put a dynamite on Worm 7's head and Worm 2 goes in as well, and you just have to watch. It's not the most irritating enemy first turn in the game, but close. Right, now, so... Right, we're going for a specific manip here. So, using the Kami to line up the bazooka, I'm going to fire it around about 41 seconds. Now, let's knock Butch and Otis in like so. Now, if we've got this right, a crate should drop in the top left corner. Yep. And we don't need the crate, but this should hopefully ensure that Gambit is the worm who moves on this on the second enemy turn here. So let's see. Okay, good. So what he's going to do is going to fire a bazooka at Worm 8, and then he's going to position himself next to Stavros, and that's key, because that is going to help us with a shot that we need to do very shortly. It's a kamikaze. Previously we just used the kamikaze to aim, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Once again. Okay, so I think my timing's a little off there. So what I did there was I did the Kami right at the peak of my worm's jump. You'll see we one-shotted Stavros, and Stavros is just close enough to Gambit that the grave damage will kill him off as well. We also knocked, I think it was Flossie, into that pile with Zorky over there. So that's part of the setup here. Now, if we got the timing right, Hot Dog should get a self-kill here, but it's not guaranteed. So we may have to do an extra turn to kill Hot Dog off. Okay, that should be fine. So what happens here, the enemy are not very good at gauging oil drums, so... yeah. You really... hot dog flavoured water there, everyone. Right, so... now, this is the hard strat. This is the hard part of this. We've got 3 ropes, and we're going to try and knock Plopper into a position here. Okay, I could have done with that being a little bit further, but we'll see what happens. Okay, alright, so we didn't get it, so we're out of ropes now. Ideally, what you want to do there is you want to knock them Plopper far enough so that you can baseball bat all 3 of them out into the water at the same time. But that last rope knock is particularly difficult. So this is fine. Plopper is going to do some damage on Worm 1 here, but it's all good. And we should talk about the enemy CPU level as well. You'll notice, if you look at the bottom, that the enemies have a number next to them. This is CPU 5 in this level, and basically CPU 5 is the maximum level of enemy intelligence. So if you're up against CPU 5, their shots are painfully accurate. And all of the remaining missions bar 1 have CPU 5 as our enemy team. So, right. This is a interesting one, but you're going to see the priceless Ming vase being used as a weapon in this one. So if you're a fan of antiques, I'd look away. Because you will be cringing. So we're going to try and manipulate this weapon here. So it's like a cluster bomb. It sends clusters into the air, and we manipulated it there so that the spread there killed off all 3 of those enemy worms in one go.
Just like a real Ming vase.
Just like a real Ming vase, yeah. And if you thought that was impressive, I don't think you did, then watch further, because you're going to see, I think, the best Holy Hand Grenade in the entire game. So brace yourselves, everyone. If you don't know the lyrics, pass around the hymn sheets and you will all get it. We want a big old chorus for this one. So, going to go to worm 2. Jump up here, or rope up here rather, and set myself down by hot dog. I'm going to nudge up, hot dog 1 pixel. Drop the HHG. And there we go. And you notice we got a rope knock on Stavros during the retreat time there as well, so which is pretty tricky, but we got it. Now, speaking of tricky, this is probably the hardest strat, or one of the hardest strats in the game that I'm going to do. So, here we go. Right, so force drop the crate. We're going to jump up once and then back jump. That ensures this crate isn't a whatchamacallit? One of the ones that blows up. And now, I think that's too early. No, that's actually perfect. That's actually dead on. So basically there, that Cammy, we killed 2 of them off by sending them into the water. You notice we knocked Flossie through there, one-shotted him, and also the grave damage is going to kill off Hot Dog. So that's good, but also what this should do is it should ensure that Plopper stands next to the oil drum at the end of his next turn. So let's just see. He should fire a bazooka at worm 2 here. Yep, here we go. And yes. And there he is. Okay, nice warm bottom there for Plopper. So now we're going to ninja rope up through that hole.
That's how ropes work.
Oh, yeah. This is... Now, I don't have much time to do this turn, so I'm going to try and concentrate here. Need to get a rope knock on Otis. And... Oh, no! Ah, shoot. So, what we wanted to do there is we wanted Worm 4 to retain the turn. Because by doing that, that would set everyone up for a perfect Cammy opportunity here. That has not happened, so now I'm wondering whether we should retry the level or try and improvise. The problem is this is a rough one to improvise on because we have no select worm capabilities in this, so we have to go for everyone sequentially again. We'll have a go. We'll see. We'll try and YOLO it and see what we can get done. But I'm not overly optimistic. Alright, let's see what happens. So here, I'm going to do what we were going to do in the first turn, but with Worm 4, unfortunately, is going to be the recipient of a butt whooping. So Kamikaze there to kill them off. Okay. How rude. So now this is a little worrying. It's a worm with 53 health versus a worm with 100 health. And remember, it's CPU 5, so Zorki's shots are going to be pretty nasty. And we're out of ropes now as well, so my mobility is a bit limited. So I don't know, Angel, do you reckon we're going to get out of this one?
I don't know.
So that's fairly predictable. Okay. What have we got? I can try Mail Strike. Mail Strikes are very weak. And okay, I'm going to go for a Super Sheep here and see if this helps. The problem is my retreat here is not good, so I think Zorki's going to one-shot me here. Yeah, he's coming. Well, he's thinking about it. The CPU needs a lot of thinking time in this, so I think this. Yeah, this is a reset. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. All right. So let's try this again. Well, Angel, we got. We're doing this again. So any questions about what you've just seen?
I'm more perplexed, not by your gameplay, which is phenomenal. The game, which is, I don't know, it's frustrating. All I'm thinking right now is how much of this is based on reality. And I have one more question for you based on that.
Oh, but this is what medieval Britain was like, but yeah.
I want to know how much shrapnel an exploding worm actually has in real life. Have you?
How much shrapnel an exploding worm has?
Well, how much it creates.
The problem is, when I was a kid, I used to cut all mine in two, so I didn't really get all of the benefit that you would get from such an experiment.
This is why you don't have a dog.
That's why I don't have a job as well. Right, so let's try this again. I got a feeling this one may have my number on this occasion, but it's fine. Right, so we've got 2 rope knocks to do now since Plopper is out of position. That one was terrible, but I do not have enough ropes to be able to deal with it. So I may have to do backup strats on this one, which is annoying because I can't actually remember how to do them. Okay, right, let's... Okay, so I'm gonna try and remember how to do the backup on this, which is safer. Not ideal. Well, not as quick if this one goes well, but it hasn't. So that ship has sailed. Okay, so what are we going to do? There's the backup. This is an easier version. We're going to do something called a bat trick. Way this works is the baseball bat can only go so high, but if we aim another weapon slightly higher. Okay, hang on. Oh, ball. Okay, I haven't done this for a while, so bear with me again. Okay, cool. So what we did there is, if you change weapon to something that can go higher than a baseball bat, and then jump in the air and change back to the baseball bat while you're in midair, the bat will bat at the angle that you aimed the previous weapon at. That's called bat trick. Now,
what's it called if you do 3 of them?
3 bat tricks.
Okay.
So you really are asking the hard questions, Angel. Now, this is kind of what we were trying to do on the other attempt. But it's already set up for us, and we have, because of the bat, we have an extra worm in the pile there. So, and that... everyone dead. Okay, yeah. So
how much extra time does that take, though, to set up that way?
Probably 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
It's a difficult one, because the other one is quicker, but it's much hard. There's much less room for error on that one. This one, like, all of the shots are pretty easy to set up, apart from the bat trick. And here, Butch... Oh yes, I forgot about Butch lock. So this is a possible thing that can happen. So Butch here is going to jump a few times. Hopefully no more than twice. However, if it is more than twice, then he is Butch locked. He's not Butch locked, so that's fine. But it's a little kind of like a mini soft lock that can happen in that one, where Butch basically just keeps doing jumping jacks until the turn's over. Yeah, it's not good. Right. Now, let's get the Super Sheep out again. And we're going to just fire the Super Sheep up straight like that, and you get a nice hot bath for all the remaining worms, like so. And they're all gone, so you see. So yeah, you know, that's a perfectly palatable strat for that mission as well. It's just that I've gotten used to showing off, so. But you can't show off when the stress of your own hairline is distracting you from the run, so. You know, the first thing that Angel messaged me when I told her what I was doing was, and I quote, "You fool."
I'm thinking about that.
All caps. Arg, anything you want to say quickly before we carry on to the next mission?
Oh, we got plenty here. We're going to start $90 donation from John McLean. He says, "May have forgotten about this after my run with the enemy earlier. Yippee-ki-yay."
Oh, I know the next word.
Oh, I bet. So do we.
Okay, cool. Right, so this here, we are going to go for a rope knock on Gambit on the first turn. Something you'll notice about the enemy, by the way, they love dynamite in this game. They absolutely love it. And on some of these, there's one weapon scheme we call the Holy Ming, which has the Holy Hand Grenade and the Ming Vase in it. You get infinite dynamite on most of those missions, so enemies particularly trigger happy with those. Right, so popping the parachute on. Now, this is a very specific rope knock here, and I've messed it up, so unfortunately with this one we don't have a backup for this strat really that's any good, so we have to get this rope knock right, or this is a non-starter. What we're trying to do is we're trying to knock Gambit gently enough down so that he doesn't knock Plopper out of the position he's going to be in, but also we don't want to knock him so gently that Gambit lands on our head on the way down, because we lose the turn as a result. So it's a very, very, as Argit would call it, a Yogi Bear strat, this one.
It steals your picnic baskets.
Yes. Okay, so that's what we want. So now here, jumping onto Plopper's head. Sing along, everyone. And as you can see there, we put that Holy Hand Grenade in a specific position to kill off all 4 of those enemy worms in one go. And Plopper here is going to explode and cause a crater. And Worm 1's position is going to manipulate Flossie into coming out of his cave here and hanging out with the boys. And this is good, because it means we can now set up a good cami on Flossie that will kill one other worm off. See if you can guess who that might be. Angel probably knows.
No idea.
Ah, okay.
Have I told you I haven't actually watched you play this before?
You said you'd watched one of mine for research.
Skimmed through it. It's difficult when they're like 2 hours long. That's a commitment.
Yes, thank you for commenting on my lack of speedrunning skill. So, now, I'm going to rope Flossie into position here. Do we need a little bit more? Yeah, okay, we'll go. We're going to do Cami and knock Otis in as well, like so. So, say what you see. Like,
You have it coming.
now, Hot Dog here, I think it's going to aim at Worm 5. Oh, no. Okay, it's going to do a shotgun on Worm 3. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We basically just want Hot Dog and Zorky to line up so that we can do a cami on them, and that's pretty straightforward. I'm going to do a risky parachute here as well. You need to know your hotkeys if you want to do this parachute.
Whoops.
You do. There you are. So, changing to the parachute whilst in mid-air. If you don't do that, you'll just slide down into the purple water. But there we go. Cami, both of them into the water, and we're fine. Second attempt. Now, after 19 missions, we finally get a first turn, everyone. So we're going to use that to
Get a move on.
teleport on our first turn over to Zorky. That's because this is a BNG mission, and it is horrendously designed, because Zorky is just in a terrible position to try and get. Now, we got a dud manip there from our timing on Gambit, which is good, because we do need a mine for this strat here. Going to back jump, and going to drop a grenade at 33 seconds, and jump across here, and I'm going to back jump off the digger. That grenade is going to knock Stavros down to that position there. If we've got this right, Stavros is going to throw a grenade at Worm 5. And it's going to knock the mine from its perch. What happens next will shock you. Now, doing some clickbait to try and get the hype going on the run again. Now here, very specific set of movements we're doing here to get this bazooka in. You need to make sure that Worm 4's quarter pixel position remains intact there. And so that's why I jumped straight onto the head and then dropped off the worm, because if you don't do that, then that bazooka will not do that outcome. And again, there's a lot of AI manipulation going on with the enemy here because this mission is just so difficult to do casually. It's just really long and joyless. So now I'm going to bounce a grenade here. And something you'll notice with a lot of the shots we do in this game is they're at full strength or they're just like tapping so that you just launch them immediately. Reason we do this is because by having full strength shots you get the same outcome each time if you're firing it at the same angle. So that ensures that from a speedrun perspective we can always do the same move. If you try and do like half power shots or 3/4 power shots or whatnot, it doesn't work out so well. Right, so here's another cluster trick. And 2 mines as well, just to polish Zorky off there.
Oh dear.
Any thoughts, Angel?
I just wonder what you've done with your life
Well,
to bring you to this point. Earlier on I was going to ask, what brought you to Worms in the first place? But I think I know you well enough to know that, yeah, this is just an embodiment of your...
this is some Terry Wogan style interviewing right here, I'm telling you. Right, right. And another cluster trick here now, because Plopper stood on top of Stavros's head there, we actually used Plopper's bottom to absorb the clusters here, rather than anyone else's. But there we go. And yeah, we have 2 worms left on this one. That one you pretty much have to do that same strat every time. It's a really hard mission to YOLO, that one. Now, here's the last appearance of CPU 4 in this run. Like, for some reason in this mission, they give it over to CPU 4. It might be because this is another artillery mission. It's the second of 3, so none of the worms can move. And honestly, if they were CPU 5, this mission would be horrible. We're going to do a another specifically timed grenade here. 42 seconds when the oil barrel goes up. What that does is it knocks Mechanic down with Scrut here, and it should get a CPU manip.
Just you wait.
Here, we want Scrut to fire a shot that kills himself and Mechanic off. Now you notice the wind is going 1 arrow to the left. That's important. Because if we've got this right, Scrut is going to fire a bazooka, what he assumes is going to hit Worm 5. Instead it just goes straight back down through the hole and knocks them into the water. And that saves us a turn in this mission. And now Worm 8, quick bazooka shot on Kingston. That's because if Worm 8 gets killed before Kingston, Kingston is a horrible worm to try and kill off in this one. So we get Kingston out of the way as soon as possible. Next up, we're going to do a shot that I found. I feel compelled to point this out because most of the routing in this run was done by a wonderful runner called Mablak. And so people mostly assume that he found everything in this. But here's a shot that I found.
Is this the one that you found?
There's others. This is the 7th most impressive one that I found. We're bouncing the grenade down there to knock Marlon and Ozzy into the water. And we use the hour hand of the clock there to line up the shot there. If you're like a zoomer, unfortunately you won't be able to learn the tech for this run because you've only got digital clocks now. But that's how I remember it. Got to feel sorry for the zoomer worm runners.
You'll regret that.
There are people watching right now who have taken offense to that.
Yeah, that's because they're zoomers. Right, I'm going to teleport here next to Raptor. And now, again, we're doing a teleport here because much like the last mission, they're in a really... these 2 worms here, Raptor and Sheepnut, are in a horrible position. So the only real way we can efficiently kill them is by just mucking in with the teleport there so that we are right up close to them. So what we're going to do first is going to fire bazooka up like this to get Sheepnut in. And this position is a little unusual, but I think we should be able to work with it. We also might be getting... we got a lock, everyone. We got Raptor lock. So remember we had Butch lock earlier? So There's a lovely phenomenon in this particular mission where Raptor, if he lands in the wrong position here, can end up soft-locked for his entire turn, which is 50 seconds long. So he's just going to stand there aiming at the hourglass without doing anything until the end of this turn. So Argic, do you want to fill some time?
I can do that. We've got a $25 donation from Steven Star 192 that says, swap faster. Good luck, Angel. You got this. And that is, of course, referencing the fact that later on, Angel's going to be doing Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World Shuffler, and we're just going to increase the chaos to make it swap faster, if that donation incentive is met. We also have a $10 donation from Sensei that says, blood and stomach pills. Good luck, RuffledBricks.
Thank you very much. And yeah, if you want to see me asking Angel what she's been doing with her life, then look forward to her run later.
Yep.
Because I'm going to be commentating.
Because that's the reason I'm here. Just returning the favour.
So, Gungirder's mission, another one we get first turn on.
First blood.
And here what we're going to do is we're trying to get a manipulation here called, well, the runner Toby Trigger likes to refer to this one as Brotis. Although I would maintain that Brutch is a slightly better name for it. We want to manipulate Butch into shooting Otis. And I'll explain how that's going to go down in a minute. But firstly, we need to make sure we get all these shots at specific times. So on that first turn, we did our last shot of 31 seconds and then did a jump knock. Our two worms get killed off here. I'm going to do my next shot. I'm going to buffer it immediately as the turn starts. So there goes Hot Dog. And then I'm going to back jump to the right. And then we're going to aim 1, 2. And that is not the worm I wanted to shoot. So, oh, that's too fast.
So difficult knowing what's intentional there. I genuinely thought that you're just taking your own worm out for a reason.
No, well, you know.
First blood.
It seems like the sort of thing I would do, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you've done it enough.
I often. Oh God. Okay, my timing's all over the place. There's a lot of. I don't know if you can hear it at home, gang, but there's a lot of background noise here, and I'm gamely fighting against it.
I mean, everybody woke up. It's Sunday. We're a bit late, but they're here now.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but like.
That sounds like an excuse to me. Which is fine, because I'll be making my own later on, so you can call me out on that.
Hey, listen, don't make me play my A card. I will do it. I've done it before and I'll do it again.
Fatality.
Okay, back jump. Right, 32 seconds. 1, 2. There we go. Okay, so Stavros is out. Now, let's see. Are we going to get Brotus? So what happens is everyone else is too low for Butch to aim at. So Butch is going to aim at worm 4. However, Otis is in the way. First shot comes out. Hits the oil drum. That is expected behavior. Worm 2 and 5. Worm 5 surviving. That's unusual, but that's fine. Now, Brotis still potentially on the table, but let's see what happens with the second shot. And Otis is gone. Wonderful. So we do not need to worry about that again. Excellent. So now we can shoot Gambit in. And that Brotis basically saves us a turn.
Fatality.
And then we're going to fire up like this, and Butch goes into the water, like so. So I got a question, Angel.
We are the winners.
What happened in your life that you decided to start commentating Worms runs?
I met you.
Oh.
You started playing Worms,
Yeah.
and I needed something to do this lunchtime. So you very, very kindly allowed me to sit in your company. Otherwise, I'd be sat upstairs watching Bullseye or something, so thank you.
Watch this.
If you need to know anything about Bullseye, by the way, Angel's very much the person to ask. There's nothing Angel doesn't know about Bullseye. Right down to, I think, Jim Bowen's blood type, I believe.
At the moment, it's none.
Yeah. He has He just decided to get rid of it for no good reason. Okay, so this is the last artillery mission in the game, and this one was so difficult that we used to just wait for sudden death to come in. You notice there's some allusions to it at the top. Sudden death is a state where the time runs out and then the game does several things to try and speed up the gameplay. Like, for example, reducing all the worms' health to 1. Now, what we just did there is I teleported onto that specific spot there. You notice also I zoomed in using the wheel. That's actually not a feature that was part of the original Worms 2. That is part of, basically we're playing a mod called Worms 2 Plus, which once I've done this shot I'll explain more about that. There we go. So Worms 2 Plus basically doesn't change the base gameplay of the game. What it does is it adds a few patches to the game, because if you buy Worms 2 on GOG or anywhere else you can get it, you can't actually play it on modern operating systems. It won't react on Windows 10 and 11. So Worms 2 Plus basically contains a bunch of patches that enable it to work on modern operating systems. And now we are going for, if you're a fan of Rube Goldberg's, then you've come to the right place, because we're now going to watch this entire lot of enemy worms die in a very slow procession. Slow enough, in fact, that I think, Argic, here's a good time for you to spit some bars.
Spit some bars,
Spit
all
some
right.
bars, should you want to. Yeah, in your authentic Scouse accent.
Scouse accent in it, mate. All right, bruv. We got ourselves $50 here coming from Big the Dave. He's losing his hair. Let him lose his voice. Bricks for Granny's garden, please, mate. We got $20 from Nanaki Emmy going, congrats, Ruffled, on your impending doom. I mean, head shave. Good luck with your Worms 2 run. The manipulation's been spectacular so far. I don't know where Scousers went. Also, now the haircuts are confirmed. It's time to make the Mario Shuffler more difficult.
That, do you know, I never knew.
Oh, no.
I never knew you had a South African accent in you.
What? Oh, come on!
That was fantastic.
Oh, if there's anybody that hasn't taken some degree of offence to that, if it's 10 different accents in one.
Listen, I didn't say I was good at accents.
Yeah,
and
that's
if
like the UK as well, though. You know, like you know how every American impression of the UK is basically like Dick Van
Apples and
Dyke.
pears.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, how do you think Scousers feel about that? Right, we're going to do a cami at 25 seconds here. After a jump. That goes down, makes a nice little hole in the floor like that. Doesn't kill anyone, you'll notice, but it does get this very nice manip here. So Stavros is going to attack Worm 3 with a stick of dynamite. Now, you might look at that and think, this does not look good. This looks like it's going to be pretty painful, and it is for Stavros. So, no need to worry about him anymore. And Worm 3 actually surprisingly intact. Now, here's the tricky turn. We're going to now rope up through the hole that we created with the cami. And nice little rope knock there to get them in. Oh yes, I just noticed the wind is not ideal here, so I'm going to have to use another rope to get up here, but that's okay. We've got 1 or 2 to spare on this one. Now, shotgun. Uh-oh, right, need to be quick. Oh, I panicked. Okay, let's restart. What happened there? So I was meant to do a back jump, but I pressed the wrong button because I was like panicking because of the time. So
I was going to say, but from what I've seen before, this is one of the most difficult levels for you, isn't it? So.
it's okay. So yeah, I mean, like something to note about this run is that from mission 23 through to 31, this is basically just a parade of run killers. We like to call it Worm and Corner, which is a reference to some golf thing that Toby Trigger, who's an avid golfer, brought into play. But basically, yeah, it's just run killer after run killer from mission 23 to 31. This one, 29, is actually probably one of the easier ones of this section, but there's still a few difficult moves that you need to get in, and not a huge amount of backup if the early moves in this one go wrong. So yeah, it's a little difficult. Now, don't get stuck, please. There we go. Now on that one, oh no, the wing's wrong again. What? You didn't see that.
It's fine.
Special delivery.
Oh man. Ooh. It's alright, it's all going to be fine. I think it's all going to be fine. Is it all going to be fine?
It's all going to be fine.
I don't know if it's all
We
going to
can
be
do
fine.
fine. No, it's going to be fine.
Okay.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I'm going to qualify it with that.
When I've gone
I'm not
home.
going to guarantee it.
Okay. Arg, filibuster for me, would you?
I will indeed. We have got ourselves a $5 donation from Killer Chair that says, "Heyo, speed friends. One day I'll get myself over to UKSG. But in the meanwhile, I will just enjoy all the good vibes from the comfort of my own home. And please, tell each other I said hi. Each other, hi." And we also have a $20 donation here from Inter Wang Ling that says, "Angel, I'm relying on you to kidnap RuffledBricks and save his hair."
I can try and save the hair. I mean, what are we planning to do with whatever gets cut off?
I don't know.
Can we create a clone?
Do you really need more than one of me? Oh boy.
Do you want the answer to that one?
Yeah.
Leave it there.
Always. Shoot. 6, 5. Okay.
Are you going to become smooth bricks on the back of this?
I don't know.
Egg bricks.
I don't know. Arg, keep talking.
That's a dangerous statement.
That was supposed to be off mic.
We got a $5 donation from Curio that says, "Oricon gave me a message for you. Worm. Worm. Worm." And then finally a $10 donation from Chrysosaurus here saying, "Love volunteering for UKGS. And sadly, my tech shift is up. Love seeing all of the runs from this perspective and hope to do it again. Good luck to the rest of the volunteers, staff, and runners for this event." Also, what the hell is this game? So,
What?
we found one of the Zoomers.
What the hell is this game? Okay, so I explained it very clearly at the beginning. Like, we're worms. The enemy are worms. You have to kill off the worms. And you get weapons to do so. Many of which are used by... actually, wait, hang on. Here's a weapon. We're going to use a super sheep. So basically, what happened there was the sheep. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to bail. I'm gonna have to bail.
Gonna have to bail?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Alright. He's gone. Angel, do you want to do the run?
I think that would be a mistake for me to even attempt to try and jump on there. It would be a mistake.
Is there any way we could get him back?
Shall we try?
Can we try and get him back? What do we need to do? You've got to go find him first. Okay. Go for it. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. I don't know why I went Metal Gear there, but we did. It is funny because right now I do have everybody looking at me going, are we actually meant to do things or not? We'll go to an intermission and we'll see what happens when we come back, folks.
All right, gang. Apologies for that. I had Just to illustrate how difficult that run is, I had a panic attack mid-run, which is probably the most egregious, never happened before moment I've had in a speedrun marathon in my entire life. So, but we are going to we're going to persevere. What I'm going to do to try and not go too far over estimate is I'm going to use one of the game's many spicy passwords to get us to jump ahead. So I just need to remember the law on behalf of all the territories of that. I think it's territory. We went to the. Is it? Oh no, I can't remember the passwords now. Territories that we went to the. Yes, got it. There we go. All right, we ready? 3, 2, 1, off we go again. So we're skipping some of the remaining fragments of Worm and Corner, and we're going into the slightly smoother remaining part of the run here. So basically, you remember the grenades from earlier? They're back, but in POG form. They are now much bigger explosions than before. So what we're going to do, we're going to use that to our advantage. I'm going to try for a... Oh, I missed the space bar. Right, okay. We went to the... I feel as though everyone's still in shock here, Angel. I don't know what I can do to lighten the mood.
Well, I was just going to say that you went to did some kind of weird worm manipulation in the bathroom. That's where I found you, so...
Honestly...
That's the worst thing I could have said.
Oh no, you'll be pleased to know, Ruffled, that chat and that are very much happy to have you back and are ready to see more Worm's skill on display.
Thank you, chat.
So you are good to go, my friend.
And I promise you there's going to be no monologue about my weird worm manipulation in the bathroom. However, I am struggling to hit the space bar at the moment, so just give me one moment. Right, last try. If I can't even hit a space bar, then I think I am going to have to step down as my... from my role as Britain's hardest working worm speedrunner. But let's see, here we go. Okay. You'll see from these repeat kind of restarts, by the way, just how irritating the enemy worms getting the first turn is on this, because you can't, it's not like, no cutscene skip or anything, you just have to wait for that to transpire. Now, okay, I hit it. Cleared all the mines there because they were looking a bit untidy. And what you can do with that shot, you can get a triple kill on Flossie, but that is genuinely frame perfect. And I always have to say genuinely because there's someone on YouTube who thinks I'm talking out of my butthole whenever I mention anything with the words frame perfect or pixel perfect in this game. Trust me, if you've never done this run before, try it yourself. You might end up running to the bathroom midway through a run. So there we go. We throw a little grenade there just to get those 3 into the water. And now Flossie is going to fire at us, hopefully with a bazooka, but no, it's with a grenade. So that's probably going to be a kill on Worm 1 there, which is fine. It's a little bit of a time loss, but I don't think we're worrying about that at this point. I'm sorry, I thought he was going to be dead. Okay. Right, so 4-second grenade, so let me just throw it up into the air like so. Let's hope it hits Flossie. Oh, look at that. There we go. I made that look like a YOLO, it wasn't. So, what are we going to do now? Oh, the front end is out of the way, so let's just bring that back into play. And, right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to jump and then turn, and then we're doing a blowtorch.
My favourite.
24 seconds. Why is the blowtorch your favourite weapon?
I don't know. I just spent an awful lot of time playing Worms when I was a kid and hiding.
Oh yes, I have actually played Angel in multiplayer Worms, and she's a very big fan of what we call dark siding in the trade, which is basically digging deeply into the terrain and hoping everyone else kills themselves off. It's. I feel that's probably going to be a good survival mechanism in the near future. Now, what we did with that blowtorch there, we manipulated this worm here into doing a shotgun. One shot on worm 2 and another shot on the ear, like so. The reason that we've done this is for the following move. So we are going to now rope across to Otis. Now, second rope, which I need a parachute for, we are going to knock Otis into the moist abyss, as Roman likes to call it. And then the third rope here, I'm now going to go back up here, going to jump to the right to manipulate the quarter pixel position. I'm going to use old woman here. And this is going to blow these worms over here, with worm 2 knocking Plopper in, and Butch and Zorky going in over there, and my worm surviving on top of Bart Simpson's head. So it's a tough one to see everything that's going on that one, but you know, that's my fault for trying to do it at a resolution that you can actually watch and enjoy at home. You can do this 1920 by 1080, so it fills the whole screen, but it is unwatchable in that method. And then here, you'll see why we put worm 1 there now, because that manipulates Stavros into shooting that bazooka, walking to the left, which meant we can then do that kamikaze to get them into the water.
So you're saying that stretching your worm is bad?
It depends how far you stretch it. So here, what we're going to do is, I think we're going to cancel UKSG at this rate, aren't we? Like, so what we're going to do here is, remember we mentioned sudden death earlier in one of the earlier ones. We're actually going to try and let the timer tick down here to 1 to the end of each turn. This is because we want sudden death to kick in at the beginning of the third turn. By doing this, this will ensure that all of the worms, actually, not just the enemy worms, will have their HP reduced to 1. And this means that we can get a nice, easy triple kill on the remaining worms after that turn. However, it is not always guaranteed because reasons. Like, we haven't actually figured out why you can't guarantee a sudden death every time on this one, but did a little trick there, which is known colloquially in the worms community as the Indian rope trick. What you do there is you aim a weapon other than the rope downwards, and well, you do that. Yeah, you do that with a bazooka. Then you back jump. You change the rope in midair, and that enables you to fire the rope directly downwards, which you can't actually do normally. It'll cap out 45 degrees downwards normally. So that's a nice little way of getting straight up the side of that cliff face there without having to do any wonky rope angles. I am actually missing letters now out of words. It's alright, we got this. And there is sudden death, gang. So now everyone is down to 1 HP. Zorky is in the perfect position for what I want to do, actually. So what we're going to do, going to rope down here, drop down into the hole here, and then kamikaze across like this, which hits Zorky and knocks Plopper into Butch, into the mine, knocking them both into the water, like so.
You had it coming.
Lasagna earlier. What's this background?
This is kind of like one of those Rice Krispie cakes, isn't it? I think, yeah. Or no, it's the mini egg cakes. You know, the mini egg cakes. And this is my screensaver from 1995. So this is, I'd say, the penultimate run killer of the game. This is a shopper mission, and unfortunately this is the only shopper mission in the game that has booby trap crates in it, which is grotesquely unfair for a mission in which you have to collect crates to get weapons. So what we're doing here is we're manipulating specific crate drops so that we can get weapons to deal with the enemy worms, since they're too sparsely spread out here to be able to rope knock them all. And now this is the tough turn. All these movements need to be very precise.
Reinforcements.
Okay, good. So we got all the crates that we need. So that's fine. That's the scary part. If you are like even like a few split seconds off there, then one of those crates can blow up and you're right back to the starting point. Now, enemy there grabbed the priceless Ming Vase crate, which seems like a bad idea because we've just given them a really good weapon. But actually, it means you get the teleport like that. And now we're going to use the banana bomb, which is, I think, the only banana bomb we have in this run. We're going to bounce that.
Watch this.
2-second banana bomb here, doing it at a specific time here so that the spread kills off nearly all of them. Sometimes you can get Zorky in as well. Didn't manage it on this occasion. Okay, yes, so Zorky survived, which is slightly unfortunate. But Zorky is probably going to teleport here. I'm not sure where he's going to go. Oh, okay, that works. That's fine. So now, here's a move that I cannot take credit for, like many of them in this game, but this is the homing airstrike manipulation, and I'm going to use the ease of access mouse settings here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I think that's
Here
it.
she comes.
So, oh, and we got it wrong. Lovely work. Okay, never mind. Let's see what happens anyway. Okay, so I think I was maybe a pixel off or whatnot, because what was supposed to happen was the missiles were supposed to knock I think it was Stavros into hot dogs. They both land down there. However, it didn't happen. So this is fine. We've got some way of kind of YOLOing this. Hot dog, as you can see, is not going anywhere, so that's good. And what we're going to do here is, I think I'm going to go for a rope knock on Hot Dog to get them into this area here. And we have one other crate that we picked up, which is a petrol bomb. So I'm going to stand on top of the oil drum here, throw this directly upward, do my best to try and escape from here, but it's probably not going to happen. And as you can see, lovely hot bath for all the remaining 3 enemy worms. And there we are, full house. So managed to recover that one, despite not getting the homing missile strike right. So yeah, going back to your question from earlier, Angel, yeah, you can. There are some way you can like improvise, and this is a particular one where like you have to do quite a lot of YOLOing if the first 2 turns go right. But
We are the winner.
it's the I need to move this up ever so slightly. There we go. It's always the fear of the booby trap crates that kind of like comes in on that one. Have you ever had a booby trap crate?
You need to stop trying to make me say things that are going to be. I know what you're doing.
Depends on your
This
definition.
is angel manipulation.
Depends on your definition of trying. Well, you know. Why are you called Angel Interceptor anyway?
Oh, don't start on that.
Okay. Right, so
I don't see any bricks around you.
that's because they've been nicely painted over. Got them. So,
Coming.
yeah, see? You can't, there's no flies on me. Right, now here what we're doing, we're keeping the shotgun in position here so that I've got a good move here so that I can now shoot Stavros into the water so that they go out like so. Very, once again, pixel specific, that angle there. I use the terrain just next to Worm 1 to line up the shot beforehand and then turn back. Because if you don't get that right, then Stavros doesn't go out. And what the game kind of does, for a casual perspective at this point, is it tries to start intimidating you with big, wide open spaces and very few worms to use. But from a speedrunning perspective, this is fantastic because it means we have instant access to everyone we need to. So dropping a dynamite here, and then rope knocking Butch and Flossie, and the dynamite here just knocks those 3 into the water. What? They were stood there. What else do you think we were going to do with them?
Let them watch.
We are the winner.
This isn't spectator percent, okay? Like
Special delivery.
last iteration of the sausage mission, and this is the easiest of the 3 sausage missions by far. The 2 crates that we need spawn immediately as long as you insta-drop them. And what we're going to do here, we've got a kamikaze, and we're going to get a mad cow as well, the only one that we get in the entire run. Going to line ourselves up here and do a cami to kill all 3 of the lower worms off in one go, like so. Oh, whoa! Okay, Zorky, that's unprecedented.
Special delivery.
How'd you explain that one? And also, oh, okay, I was going to say Gambit's going to get a crate, but Zorky's still alive. So where's he going? He has gone over there. Okay. So once it's YOLO time again, gang. So we're going to do, let's see what's in this crate. A homing missile. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. We should be able to do something useful with that. So I'm going to just go over here. We haven't used a homing missile yet in this run, have we? So let's, there you go. So the way that homing missile works is you basically just, you set the crosshairs, you fire it into the air. After about half a second, the homing mechanism kicks in. So it basically operates very similarly to a bazooka, albeit without being influenced by the wind, like the bazooka is. And then it will just home in.
My other favourite weapon from the original game.
Is it?
Nothing but homing missiles, yeah.
They're kind of like, I think people
A big
can...
old tunnel,
Yeah.
stand at the end and then shoot it up.
Shoot
and
it
then
straight
go
up.
back in the tunnel.
That's lovely. But it does mean that like everyone knows your strats left, right, and centre
I mean,
now.
you say strats, that's my strats.
Yeah.
That's how I've always... How old is the original?
Uh,
Nearly 30 years.
oh, it's almost as old as me. Right, Zorky's out. Now, this is a tricky one. We're going to try and do this one in one turn, gang. Mostly with rope knocks, so here we go. Oop. And that is reset. So basically we need a heavier knock than that on Plopper. Good. Second knock. Oh dear. Oh. And now, oh, need to get up here. Oh no! Come on.
First blood.
All right. We're not going to have time for the manip here, but that's okay.
Boring.
Okay. Let's try it again, because it's we can do this. We got this.
Yeah, but with yeah, so
Oh, I've got my no, I didn't forget it. Oh.
it's probably 15 by something. It's emulated.
That's not good. Oh, and I lost the turn by headbutting.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have one more go.
Yes, so if you get anything in terms of what I did earlier, so Pete's Tower. Edit one.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so the only reason
That should be fine.
First blood.
anything trending, it doesn't change it on the screen. Because run through those two.
Okay, so I'm 1 pixel too high on the shotgun for the second shot here, so I just need to adjust that and jump.
Fatality.
Yeah, just make sure when you type in someone's
Got it. There we go. Oof.
Worth it.
Yeah. The thing is, that's not even the hardest strat on that level.
Flawless.
Mad Black found an even quicker one, which I can't do. It requires a grenade, but you have to be obscenely good at roping to do that one. Now, here's an interesting thing. So at this point on, for all the remaining missions, sudden death kicks in right from the start, which again is Team 17's attempt to try and intimidate you in these later levels, but for speedrunning, it's fantastic, because now everyone's got 1 HP. So just breathing on them will cause them to die here. So what we're doing there, using an Uzi, lining it up specifically so that the spread kills off 3 of the worms in one go. 2 of them go in the water. Otis takes fatal damage. And something to note, by the way, you know how we were talking about the RNG affecting spread and stuff like that? In these later missions, it doesn't seem to, and part of the reason behind that seems to be that the RNG seeds are actually advanced by the worms' idle animations. So when the worms have above 30 health, you'll notice they kind of do things like look around and eat dirt and stuff like that as idle animations. That seems to advance the RNG seed. Because everyone is in critical health here, they have no idle animations, so because of that, they actually they can't advance the seed. Now, that's a theory. We don't know for sure if that's how this works, but the fact of the matter is, you actually don't need to be anywhere near as precise with the timings on your shots in these later gunner missions, because you can just wait, and because there's nothing advancing the seeds, you'll still get the same outcome. Did that make sense? You did give a nod at the end. As if
I did, because I like to make it look like I understood what you said. Something about seeds. It makes sense.
Something about seeds. Yeah, we're sowing the garden of good speed running here. That's what's happening. Now, these shots are expected. We didn't get Stavros off with the shoot him off rather with the first shot here. Fortunately, we have a backup Uzi that we can do. We've got the dud manip there, but that's fine. He still took enough damage to die.
Is your one worm going to drown there, or? Is your one worm going to drown there? Or
Nah, because we've completed the mission, so that's fine.
Sure, it raised up again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, remember earlier, gang, I was talking about the lore of Worms 2. Well, we've got a little bit of time in this mission to pull that off. We've got another huge Rube Goldberg coming up, so once I've gotten the first turn out of the way, which hopefully I'll be able to do relatively briskly, then I'm going to tell you all the story of Worms 2 for everyone who wants to know what this game is about. First thing we need to do, though, once again, this is a BNG mission with the big grenades. I need to line up a very specific shot first of all. And I don't think I've got it, but I'm going to try it anyway. 3, 2... Okay, that was slightly off. What I'm trying to do there is trying to get a specific moment. The way that the mines work in this game is they detect activity around them every 10 frames. So, because of that, we have to shoot our bazooka to launch my worm into the mine there at very specific timings in order to get it to launch my worm around in a kind of circle that basically piles all these worms on the right together. So yeah, it sounds easy, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So sorry, I was just bringing up the passwords for Worms 2 because I want to double check your
Ah.
accuracy on this.
Yes, I think that is a good thing to do. Okay, so I'm struggling to get the notch. And there it is, as you see. So got him right on the frame there that everyone is piled. So gather around, children, to hear the story of Worms 2. Once upon a time, there were some small worms who got very, very annoyed and decided to go to arms in order to wipe out their vicious enemy counterparts. They developed some really cool weapons such as banana bombs and magic bullets. They trained all night and every day so they would become proficient in their wormly ways. Sometimes they would shoot grannies just for fun and laugh about it in the evening time. We apologise on behalf of all the territories that we went to the trouble of translating Worms 2 into, but we didn't have time to translate these passwords. Not that they need to be done. We suppose that you are really expecting a wonderful cheat mode when finished the missions. And you are right.
You missed 2 words, but it's fine.
Which words did I miss?
Oh, where are we? Expecting to see a wonderful cheat.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you were 2 words off. I thought you were going to make it, but it's still worth the round of applause.
Hey, I think any percent lore, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, so you notice, by the way, Stavros just killed himself off because he's silly. And now we're going to do a 2-second, quite scary looking grenade here. Run away. We're good. And then watch this, gang, because you're about to see, if you ever wanted to see a mine do a Columbo, now is the time to do it. Suzuki doesn't know what to do, so he's just going to fire at the edge of the cave, and the mine's just kind of like, just one final thing. And in it goes. Now, coming up next is the best strat I found in the game. We're going to kill everyone with one bazooka shot. So here we go, just going to line up. Fire it like that. That's already killed off Flossie and knocked, I think it was Stavros, into the water, like so. Now, the way that the death animations work in this, the grave animations, is they always go from left to right. So, as my worm was the furthest left casualty, they blew up, killing Gambit, who's going to knock Worm 2 down onto Alaska, which is going to kill Butch by knocking them into the water.
I'm pretty sure Alaska isn't where California is. I've not noticed that before.
They've got a very cozy relationship. What are you talking about? Like, it's this battleship up to the left I'm worried about. Otis there now is going to die, and then Zorky is right next to Plopper, is going to have a grave damage, which basically just kills off Plopper, leaving just Worm 3 as the remaining worm left standing to take the victory on this occasion. Now, the following mission is the last big run killer, and owing to the responsiveness of the ease of access mouse settings, I'm a little worried about how this one is going to go. So let's see, because this requires, oh, well, we're already off to a bad start. We have to insta-drop every crate on this shopper mission in order to get the manipulations that we want. So Gambit here is going to skip go.
Coward.
Another crate comes.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Now, need to get this teleport done by, where is it? There we go. 6 seconds.
Get a move on.
Oh, God. No. Oh, this is not working. 7, 6. Let's see how we go. I might have to skip this one depending on how...
First blood.
might try and YOLO my way around that, but... we'll see. This is a hard one to YOLO because, again, we've no weapons, so it's down to crate drops. And we can only manipulate these up to a certain point, after which it becomes a complete lottery. Right, that's perfect.
Hello.
So what difference do these?
It's not perfect. We got a dud. So,
what difference does ease of access settings make then?
well, the ease of access mouse settings on Windows enable you to specifically place pixel perfect your cursor, and the two teleports that we are going to use here very heavily benefit from that ability, particularly this one, because we need to do this 8 pixels away from here. Unfortunately, I don't appear to be able to move it 1 pixel at a time here, so I think that's also wrong. Yeah. Okay. I think just to keep this on chat, we're going to skip that one. And everyone basically just curse Windows 7. No, what is it? Windows 11. You can curse Windows 7 as well, though. Anything that rhymes with Evan, as far as Windows go.
What have you got against Devon?
Windows Devon, the regional version that Bill Gates made to cater for the Countryside Alliance. Okay. This one kind of benefits from having the ease of access stuff as well, but we should be able to work around it. So, okay, that should be fine.
Move on.
So 23 seconds on that teleport. This is another set of AI manips here. What we're going to do is we are going to try and get most of the worms on the right into a lovely big pile so that we can kill them all off. Also, notice with sudden death on this one, by the way, the the worms still have full HP, but the water is rising quite quickly after every turn. So here we go. So hot dog. There we go. 25 seconds on that one. Needs to be right on the edge of his name there in order to line that up properly. Plopper is now going to walk to the left. He's going to fire a bazooka up onto the missile directly above Worm 2. And then he's going to retreat onto the left-hand blade of the chopper.
I'll get you.
That's good. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to nudge here once. dropping a dynamite at 27 seconds. Worm 1 is done now, so Gambit is just launched all the way around to knock Flossie in. So now it's all down to Worm 2 to finish this one off, which we should be able to do fine. Zorky here is going to fire a bazooka at Worm 2, but because Worm 2 is very close to Hot Dog, he can't really go for a full-on shot there, so he's going to retreat to the top of the cactus, which is exactly where we want him to stay. We're now going to use our second last dynamite. I think it's second last. No, we got one extra. Jumping down here now with Otis. That dynamite is going to knock Hot Dog and Zorky down there, as well as Plopper. And everyone is now there now, except Butch. Stavros is about to drown, and Butch, you might think, would look at this and think, oh, I need to get out of here. Instead, he decides to join his friends. So what we're going to do is we're going to just rope here and drop a dynamite there. And everyone goes into the water, like so. And we basically just managed to do that one with minimal movement. Just some carefully placed teleports and dynamites. Now, you might recognize this map here from earlier. This is actually the better version of this mission, even though it looks quite scary with all of its 1 HP worms dotted about. But this one, as long as you get the first turn right, it's fine. We are going to do an AI manip before we move on the first turn. We're going to do that by switching worms 9 times so that we actually go back to worm 1. This actually manipulates the AI. Now, back jumping here. Back jump in here.
Watch this.
And as you can see, that knocks all of them clean into the water, like so, as well as giving Plopper a little hit as well so that he dies. Because again, everyone's got 1 HP, so the slightest hit will kill them off. And the reason we did the 9 tabs at the beginning to switch worms is because Stavros is a terrible worm to try and deal with otherwise. But if you do that manip, Stavros actually hits himself with that bazooka, meaning that we don't need to worry about it. So now all we've got to do is kill off the remaining 2. And we're going to do that with another trusty teleport, which I need to do right about here. And you might be thinking, teleporting next to Flossie? Surely that's asking for trouble. Well, it kind of is. Although Gambit's the one who takes the turn, but he decides to aim at us. Unfortunately, he misses, hits himself, and kills himself off, so just means we have to kill off Flossie now, which we're going to do by back jumping and then firing a bazooka down here to knock Flossie in. It is, but like you don't want to hit yourself with the bazooka, so you have to do it at a fairly specific angle. And the final mission, gang, blink and you miss it. It's one of the shortest ones in the game. Credit to Toby Trigger for finding this method. We are going to kill, we're basically just going to get an Uzi. Firing up like that, that kills the 3 on the left off, and then we just jump knock Gambit in, and worm 1 stays intact, and time is when you see the congratulations screen, which is now. Ooh. All right, we did it. Somehow, some way, we got through most of Worms 2 on that occasion. So, thank you very much for your patience, gang, with that slightly turbulent run. Angel, thank you so much for bringing way more water than I actually needed for this run.
Actually, I think I brought the right amount, given everything.
That's true, yes. Yeah, Angel, shout yourself out.
Well, you're going to be sitting here
Yeah.
in a couple of hours' time as I
She's on later.
instill all kind of chaos on myself during the shuffler, which is definitely going to be 20 to 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
we
it's
can't.
going to be fine.
There's no way that
I'm
you
going to
lot
be
would
fine.
like. You know, they didn't pay for my hair to get cut, so they're not going to pay for your thing to go.
To go down to 15 to 30 seconds.
Exactly.
To just create more chaos for me.
Anyway, twitch.tv/RuffledBricks if you want to see me do that kind of stuff, and others. But I'm too tired for plugs. Back to you, Argic.
Very much, mate. Again, good job on the run there, and nicely handled as well. Before you go, some love for you in the donation comments. Got a $5 donation from George Graham that says, loves worms, reminds me of my childhood. Great to see it speedrun. We also got a $50 donation from Murillo that says, love you, RB. Thanks for all the great runs and entertainment you always give us. And then a $20 donation from Go123 Attack saying, go RuffledBricks, Worms 2 is an amazing game. And with that, we are going to take ourselves a quick little break. I'm going to set up for the rest of UKSG. We will see you in 3 and like 7 minutes as well. We'll see you soon.